This video is part 2 of the key rebushing process. The first video that we have, which you may have seen, was the process of removing the old key bushings from the key in order to be able to put the new bushings in. The key bushings, they go into a hole in the bottom of the key. This would be for the front rail pin that sits over in the key bed. The other one is in the middle of the key, and that's for the balance rail pin. They're both holes are lined with felt. This one, we've taken the felt out in preparation for putting the new felt in. Now, the first step that you're going to want to do is you're going to need to measure your key pins to determine what size key pins you have, because that'll determine what size caul or clamp you're going to use for the key bushing felt. The most common is 146 thousandths, but of course there are other sizes as well, so you want to make sure you find out the correct size so that you can properly rebush the hole. Now, this is a key bushing caul, a pretty important part of making sure you get a nice finished product when you're rebushing keys. This is a type of clamp that goes in and stays in while the glue is drying for the felt until the glue sets. This particular one is made for key pins that are 146 thousandths of an inch. So, and the key pins that I have are that size. So that's the size caul I'm going to use. The next step is to determine what size of cloth that you need, because that's going to determine if the right tightness on the pin. You don't want it to be too tight so that it binds, but you don't want it to be too loose so that the key wobbles either, because most likely you're replacing the felt because it was too loose in the first place. So the way to get a good fit is to test it. Okay, and I've tried some different sizes, so I already know that this particular cloth is 39 thousandths or 0.039 inches thick, and it seems to be a good fit. Now, the right fit is if you set it over the hole and push your caul in, the right size caul. Okay, it should go in. It should feel some resistance, but not be too tight. So once you get it in there, and you go to push the caul in, again, there should be some resistance, but you don't want to have to really shove it in there, because that means it's going to be too tight and you're going to have binding. So getting a good fit is kind of crucial. So once you've done that and determine the right size caul and the right size cloth, then we're ready to glue it in. Now, the best glue for gluing in key bushings is the PVC-E glue, which we have available. What you're going to do is, you can use a small brush. I tend to use a toothpick. Works pretty good. Everybody's got their own preference for that. And what we're going to do is we're only going to put enough glue in to go down about 3/16 of an inch into the hole. Okay, so and you're going to do this area here, and then again about 3/16 inch down into the hole. So a little bit of so what I'll do is put a little glue on my toothpick here. You don't want to use too much glue, otherwise it makes a mess, but you want to get enough so that it covers the surface. Spread it out real good across the surface of where the felt's going to end up being. Once you have the glue in place, now the tool that I use is called a Bushmaster, which is the most efficient and easiest tool to use for key bushing, getting the right depth and cutting the felt and so forth. So what I do is put the felt, I'm going to hold it on the edge here. Drape the felt across the hole. Push that in, and I'm going to hold both sides here so that the felt stays in place. So I'm going to just put that in, and then I'm going to... Okay, what that does is that has a blade that comes out, and it actually cuts the felt inside the hole so that you've got the separation. And then what you do is you put the caul in place like this and give it a nice firm push on it so that it's in there real nice and snug. And then once you've done that, you'll take a sharp knife. I just use a utility knife here and cut it off. At the edges of the caul. Okay, and there we've got our caul holding the key bushing. Okay, and with the Bushmaster tool, it sets the depth of the felt at the right amount, and cut the felt nice and clean inside the hole, and set it. So that's the process using the Bushmaster. Now, if you don't have the Bushmaster, or don't necessarily want to invest in that particular tool, you can do it without using that tool. Here I've got another key. Now this one is from the same piano, but actually the .043 inch cloth was a better fit for this. Now what you can do here is take, and you can glue it in. It's a little more difficult though. Okay, what you would do is you would spread your glue just like we did with the other key, and you would take both ends of the key bushing cloth, and you would try to get it in about the right distance. Again, and of course I don't have the glue on yet, but you would put the glue on, and then insert your cloth into the hole as such. Kind of hold it back like that. Then insert your caul like that, and then cut off your cloth, and then let the caul set. And of course, you want to, once you've got the caul in, you want to let that set for quite some time until the glue dries. So make sure that you let that set for, at least say 30 minutes or longer, to make sure the glue is dry before you pull the caul out. The longer you can let it set, the better. But best to let it set 30 minutes at least, maybe an hour or longer. So until that glue is completely dry. So that's the process of putting in new key bushings in the piano keys.